Right, so welcome to your relatively daily roundup of iPhone 15 news. There's a bunch of new tidbits, so let's delve into it. So beginning with the regular iPhone 15 models, we have another source telling us we should see the island on these models. And this makes sense because when the higher end iPhones get a brand new feature, we do see it on the regular models a year later. For example, the XR gave us the 10 design at a lower price a year later, and similar to that, we have seen camera upgrades that were exclusive to the Pros come down to the following year's regular models. And actually, side note, I do wonder if we're getting the 48 megapixel main sensor on the 15 and 15 Plus. That would be a major upgrade, and I'm hoping they do get it. But yes, the island coming to the regular models makes sense, and I'm hoping that with the regular models getting this, iOS 17 does do more with the island, because right now it does not do much. In fact, notifications come below the island, which makes no sense to me, so of course, integrating that and having notifications pop out of the island would be nice, and I'm hoping we see that with iOS 17. Now, unfortunately, this source also says the upgrades with the 15 Pro are going to be pretty minor because, as previous reports have suggested, Apple's going to be focusing on the 15 Ultra next year. That's going to be getting all the big features, and the regular Pro is going to be left out. And yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this because I personally think Apple should be offering the same features across both sizes, and so consumers who prefer smaller phones but want all the Pro features can get the regular Pro. But Apple obviously wants to keep increasing sales, and the Pro Max right now is the best-selling device, and so giving that more features and getting even more consumers to get the Ultra instead does make sense from a financial perspective. And so yes, while I'm not a fan of this, I can see why Timothy's doing this. And talking about the Ultra, Apple has secured deals with suppliers for Periscope lenses, and so yeah, we're definitely getting much better zoom with the 15 Ultra. This will be the flagship feature with this device. CS, a South Korean firm, Jawa Electronics, does plan to spend $155 million on building plants to produce these new components needed for the Periscope lens. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Apple finally giving us this. Pretty much all Android phones already have this, and so it's nice Apple's finally catching up in this regards, and they're improving zoom on the iPhone. I do wonder how Apple's going to implement this though, because Samsung right now has two telephoto sensors, one regular 3x I believe, and then a 10x, that's the Periscope zoom element. And so will Apple do the same thing where they have two telephoto sensors, or do they get rid of the 3x and just have the Periscope zoom? And by the way, I'm sure the bump on the back's going to get even bigger with the Ultra, or of course, they change the layout of it, and it could actually look different. Now, talking about production, we do also have details regarding TSMC preparing for 3nm chips that of course could be the A17. Now this should be a pretty big upgrade, both in efficiency and performance, and do remember that like this year, the Pros are only getting the new chips, the regular models stick to the A16. And actually, I do wonder what's going to happen with support for the regular and Pro models, since if the Pros do have better chips, are they going to get longer support? Now, in case you're wondering if we're getting Apple's in-house modems with the iPhone 15 series, that's not going to be the case. Apparently, development for this has been pushed back, and as a result, Qualcomm is going to remain the supplier for the 15 and 16 series. And honestly, I'm glad Apple's not rushing into this. The Intel modem business Apple bought were really not great at making modems in the first place. And so yes, Apple take your time with this, perfect these modems, and make them perfect right from the get-go. And yeah, Apple sticking to Qualcomm for the next few years is great news because the 5G reception on the 14 Pro's been great. I've consistently got 3 or 4 bars of 5G, so yes, I'm very happy with these modems. However, the potential of Apple modems is actually quite exciting because this could improve battery life substantially when, of course, using 5G on the iPhone, and that's going to be appreciated. And no longer should there be a massive difference between battery life on 5G and Wi-Fi. Now, since we spoke about the 16 series briefly with the modems, I do want to mention quotas tell us the 2024 Pro iPhones could completely get rid of the island on the front. So yes, apparently the display and the Face ID components could be under the display with the 16 Pro series, and honestly, I personally doubt this. Apple had the notch for 5 years, and so I personally see the island being around for that long too, because under-display cameras still aren't great, and I don't think they're going to massively improve within a year or so, so yes, I highly doubt this. I think we'll see the island on the iPhone for the next 5 years. However, of course, there is always a chance that much like the 13 series, Apple does shrink the island on the front, but yes, it's not disappearing anytime soon. Now finally, we have a UK Apple Store being told to not take a leave between September 15 and October 7, which of course could be the potential time frame for the 15 series, but this is pretty unusual because we are still months away from the 15 launch, and so employees being told this much in advance does seem pretty sus, and so that's why I think this actually might be to do with a bigger launch like the Apple VR headset. Since we do expect Apple to unveil that in Jan, so I could see Apple unveiling it then, but of course releasing it to buy in late September with of course the iPhone 15 series. Another time frame the store was told about was December 2nd, 2023 to Jan 2024, so yeah, that I have no clue about. Maybe Apple has another surprise announcement, and I'm predicting maybe it could be the iPhone Fold. And I'm predicting it's maybe the iPhone Fold since of course previous reports have mentioned a 2024 release. Anyways, let's delve into your comments. So Aurora says SE4 must have Touch ID and OLED and a headphone jack if possible. Now Touch ID and OLED I could see materialize, but I don't see Apple ever giving us back the jack on iPhones. We're fully into wireless now with AirPods. They make way more money for Apple, and ultimately apart from a few budget Android phones, most smartphones have moved on and has completely got rid of the jack, so yes, I doubt we're going to see it. I mean, do remember it's going to be nearly a decade since Apple removed the jack, and they've yet to reverse it with any iPhone, so yes, it's a permanent change. So Quandy says, will this have the A16 Bionic? And yes, I do think that's going to be the case, considering the regular iPhone 15 models should get the upgrade to the A16 chip, and so the SE4 should follow suit. So Setra says, what's going to be the release date for the new SE? Now this should be early 2024, so either expect a March event or press releases in March for this SE4. Anyways, that's about it, but of course, tell me your thoughts regarding these reports in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the corner above on details regarding the iPad 10, and on that note, see ya peeps.